Liverpool, Aston Villa and Brighton all cheated by VAR last night. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to center around another disastrous night for referees, VAR and the PGMOL as controversy and debate strikes the Premier League once again, and the three most annoying and frustrating letters in the football dictionary, VAR, was once again thrusted into the spotlight of its own accord by people and referees that are incompetent of getting to the right decision and using the technology correctly. The PGMOL have a lot to answer for after last night's disaster class in how to use VAR. Referee standards once again on the decline, as there were, in my opinion, three major incidents in two games that were called into question very heavily. And it left a lot of fans, a lot of the pundits, a lot of spectators, and a lot of the players and coaches and everybody else associated with every single club left scratching their heads, completely puzzled and baffled as to how they managed to get the decisions wrong on the night once again. Tell me the Premier League is underway again without telling me the Premier League is underway again, and I will tell you that the only answer to that question is that VAR, referees and the PGMOL are once again in the mud after a disaster class of a night in a couple of big games that would affect the Premier League in terms of the title race and in terms of the race for Europe. There may have been other things that happened last night as well, but we're mainly going to be focusing on James Tarkowski's foul on Alexis McAllister. We're going to be focusing on as well the penalty that was not awarded to Aston Villa for a foul from Hinshelwood, and a goal that was ruled out, an equalising goal at that was ruled out for Brighton in their game against Villa as well. We're going to be talking about all of that and much more in this video, but before we go any further discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comments section and let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about these controversial moments down below. Would love to hear what you have to say, so please do use and abuse that comment section with your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, that I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading. So please do get involved. And without further ado, we'll get on to the conversation ourselves. We're going to be talking Tarkowski's challenge on McAllister. We're going to be talking the penalty that was not awarded to Aston Villa and the goal that was chalked off for Brighton in that very same game. Look, we're going to start off with the McAllister, with the Tarkowski challenge on McAllister. It was a dreadful night for VAR, right the way across the board. And I've got to say right from the off that I think the only thing that I do worry about is that these sort of things would either be overshadowed, because with all due respect to Villa versus Brighton, although that was an incredible game, the Merseyside Derby, in my opinion, would have took the spotlight and would have took the majority of the media attention. I don't want that to happen, which is why I am obviously going to be talking about it in this video. And as well as that, of course, with both Villa and Liverpool getting the wins last night, I did fear that they would kind of sweep the controversy under the carpet a little bit. Now, on the McAllister one, they've sort of came out very quickly and said, we kind of got it wrong a little bit there. I was actually quite surprised that the PGMOL did that. I know they kind of did it in a sort of trying to be discreetly as possible, trying to be like very private about it, trying to be sort of like, yeah, we got it wrong, but let's move on. Let's just move on. No talk about any sort of repercussion for the referee or the VAR on the day. It basically was James Tarkowski was very lucky to be on the pitch. And as fans and as pundits and as presenters and everybody else that was watching that moment unfold last night, we all said the same thing. We all were completely baffled by the way that by the VAR not overturning the referee's on-field decision of a yellow card and awarding a red card instead. We were all very surprised that James Tarkowski managed to complete his game last night and play on after that particular incident. because there was just no need for it. I've spoke about it in the match review that I did this morning. I basically said that I'm surprised and I'm shocked by the way that there was no red card given, considering that there have been red cards that have been given for less, not only just this season but in past seasons gone by. I was very shocked that that happened, and I was even more shocked that the likes of Gary Neville and Mike Dean were actually saying the exact same thing that we were saying, in terms of Tarkowski's very lucky to still be on the pitch. It's probably a red card decision. And it is a red card decision. And you know you've messed up when the likes of Gary Neville and Mike Dean are saying you've messed up. They normally find the weakest argument in the world to support the referee's decision. And yet they're calling it out. They are calling it out, which shows you everything you need to know about that particular decision last night. Even Duncan Ferguson, an ex-Evertonian, was saying that he couldn't believe the referee only awarded a yellow card and VAR did not overturn it to a red. So you know you have messed up when everybody under the sun that has been watching the same camera angles as you guys is saying the exact same thing and is saying the complete opposite of the decision that you came to. Now, don't get me wrong, I've said time and time again that I can understand a referee, maybe with how quick a moment is, with maybe how quick the scenario that played out was, may get it wrong. But that's why you have the safety net of VAR behind you. And I can't stress this enough, and I can't say this enough. But when VAR is the safety net behind you and doesn't correct your decision, that's what gets fans more irritated than just going with the wrong decision in the first place. We can maybe say that a referee in the moment, on certain occasions, at sometimes can get a decision wrong in real time. That can happen. We 100% accept and understand that. But having VAR behind you, with the opportunity to review the footage at different speeds from different angles and still get it wrong, is beyond a shadow of a doubt incredibly incompetent from the referees that are involved. And things like this need to be nipped in the bud and changed very quickly. Things like this need to change, because it could have gone horribly wrong for Liverpool last night. Imagine if Tarkowski had scored an equaliser again, or had scored a winner. There would be even more major uproar than what there is right now. Just because Liverpool won does not mean, by the way, that we sweep this under the carpet either. We have to call this out if we want to iron out these problems and these wrinkles within the game. It's a problem that is developing, and the PGMOL last night accepting responsibility, fantastic. But we want to see repercussions, and we want to see improvement. It's alright you saying they got it wrong, human error, whatever the case may be. But the fact of the matter is that I saw it as a wrong decision in the moment. Everybody else saw it as the wrong decision in the moment, whether they were rivals, whether they were neutrals, whether they were fans of Liverpool. They saw it as being the wrong decision, and yet the people in charge of the game and officiating the game did not. And that is a massive problem that is still going on again and again and again, week in, week out, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better, and there doesn't seem to be any repercussions for those people that are making these mistakes. The worst that happens is that they probably get demoted to the Championship for a week before they're back in the big time, getting a big game in the Premier League to officiate. Last night, the referee was clearly in way over his head. Because again, I can sort of put exception to certain moments in the game where they're too fast for referees to handle and they can't see things clearly. But the referee last night did that on more than one occasion. And if he's not up to the standard, he shouldn't be refereeing big games. Especially not a Merseyside Derby. Which, by the way, we've heard time and time again these referees state that they sometimes do referee the occasion rather than the actual game. Obviously there's no proof of this. Not completely anyway. But if that wasn't a Merseyside derby last night, and that was Liverpool against an Ipswich, or against the Southampton, say, for example, I am under the illusion that that would have been a red card dealt with there and then. I think because it was a Merseyside derby, and because of the occasion, I think the referee was a bit more lenient, and VAR was a bit more lenient. Because how you cannot give a red card in the moment, or by VAR helping you out, is absolutely beyond me. And that wasn't VAR's only mistake of the night. We now go to the Aston Villa versus Brighton game. A game that Aston Villa won quite comfortably on the scoreline of 3-0. But it was an incredible battle between two sides that were challenging for European places this season, and were both in very good spots of form going into this one. Jacob Ramsey goes over in the penalty area under a challenge from Jack Hinchelwood. How the referee is not seeing it as a penalty is beyond me. But how VAR is not backing him up and saying you may have got that wrong, you may need to change that, is beyond me even further. Because the guy does not make any contact on the ball. He clearly trips Jacob Ramsey. Ramsey is going to get to the ball, get to the byline, and maybe pull a cross back to try and set up a teammate or whatever he's going to do in that moment. He beats the defender. He leaves him for dead. He gets tripped. It is a stone wall penalty, in my opinion. And again, I do worry that this kind of thing will go a little bit under the radar because the Merseyside Derby one was probably a bit more controversial and was probably seen by more eyes. But we have to still call this out. Even though Aston Villa did win, we have to call this out. Because again, the referee and the VAR got it wrong. And I've not seen a PGMOL apology as of right now. Maybe there is one out there. Maybe they are doubling down on this. Maybe they don't want to be wrong twice in one night. Maybe that is the case. But once again, everybody was saying it was a stonewall penalty. And I can't believe that this was not overturned to be that. And again, Mike Dean is sat there on Sky Sports saying it's a penalty. I never agree with Mike Dean because he's a guy that backs his, he calls them colleagues at times, doesn't he? He backs the referees, even on the weakest of arguments. But last night, he went against the referee, not once, but twice. What's that saying about broken clocks being right twice in one day? Mike Dean was a broken clock last night. Because he went against the referee twice. Twice. He was right. It is a stonewall penalty, and Aston Villa got cheated by refereeing and by VAR yet again. And then in the very same game, Brighton score an equaliser that is chalked off because it's judged to be handball against Mitoma. Now, I've seen a few different angles on this, and on one angle it does look like it comes off his arm, but on the other couple of angles, it looks like it comes off his sleeve line. It looks like it comes off his sleeve. And the last time that I checked, if a ball hits the arm, the sleeve, above the cut-off point of the shirt, that is not handball. And that would be crucial as well, because even though Aston Villa did go on to win by 3-0, that would have made it 1-1. So you can potentially argue, unless someone's got out there a clearer image of the ball clearly hitting the lower part of his arm, for me, it comes off his sleeve, which is perfectly legal in my opinion. And so the referee, the VAR, have cheated Brighton as well as cheated Aston Villa. Now you can maybe say it's 1-1, but at the time, it definitely would have been 1-1 had the goal stood. You can say it's 1-1 in terms of controversial decisions in that game. But it should have been 1-1 in the actual scoreline, in my personal opinion. I can't believe they got it wrong again. Again, if someone's got a different image or a different angle that clearly states it comes off the lower part of his arm, feel free to send it to me and feel free to show me where that is, because I've not personally seen it. I've only seen it from a few different angles. One, it does look like it comes off his arm, but the other angles seemingly suggest it comes off his sleeve. That to me is not handball, and that to me is a very big controversial error that, you know, could cost Brighton a point. And that point could be crucial at the end of the season, because it could determine where Brighton finish, whether it be in a European football spot or not. It's big, it's mad, and yet we are still throwing the game, the authoritative side of the game, in the hands of incompetent referees. Once again, the PGMOL have a lot to answer for, even last night, in one night, across 2 games at the very least, with 3 major incidents that happened. And yet, we probably won't see much improvement. But these things need to keep being called out. These things need to be called out. Even though Liverpool won, we still need to call out the fact that Everton should have been down to 10 men. Even though Aston Villa won, we still should be calling out the fact that they should have got a penalty. And even though, obviously, they lost, we obviously need to be calling out the fact that Brighton could have got back into that game had that goal have stood. It's very interesting. It's very controversial. But of course, like I always say, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about any of these decisions and controversial moments down below in the comments section. Use and abuse that section, people, and talk to me on any of these. And what do you think about the PGMOL, the apology that they gave, or the admission that they were wrong on the night? I'd love to know what you guys are thinking and feeling about all of that and much more down below in the comments. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Thank you all for your either continued or brand new support to the channel. Whichever one it is, it means a great deal to me. So thank you so much for the support. You guys are absolutely awesome. Will always be appreciated and never taken for granted. So thank you so much indeed for that. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll speak to you all again very soon.